Wow, it's great to be back with another fantastic walk through the Detroit Lions experience. I'm shocked that you guys seem to be shocked by this. I don't understand it. I don't get why. I don't get why any of this is surprising to any of you. The Detroit Lions are a repeat disaster. Have been for my entire life. Have been for the entire lives of people a lot older than me. My dad just turned 70 years old. He's never seen him be good. The Detroit Lions are a joke, always will be a joke, and will torture you throughout this process if you don't accept that they will be a joke in perpetuity. The one thing that'll change it would be the Ford ownership changing. Don't wait up for that, because that's not happening anytime soon. So as much as we see the Detroit Lions do the same things again and again and again, they also are an organization. They are a team of firsts. For as much as they repeat the misery for you, as much as they torture you with the same type of crap year in and year out, they are in many ways a team of firsts. And we saw that again today. The Elias Sports Bureau comes out with this stat, quote, "The Detroit Lions are the first team in the history of the NFL to blow a double-digit lead 4 games in a row." History of the NFL. NFL's been around a long time. The Lions went 0-16. Browns went 0-16. We've seen a lot of crap over the years in the NFL. We've seen some shitty teams. Here come the Matt Patricia Detroit Lions, first ones through that door. 4 straight games, double-digit lead, loss. So as much as they repeat the nightmares, they also find new ways to pierce your heart if you are really invested in this team still, which I don't know how you are emotionally. I'm still a Lions fan. I root for them. Hope they do well. They're not going to ruin my Sunday anymore. Shame on you if they're still doing it and you're older than like 16 years old. First team to ever do it. First team to ever go 0-16. First team to have a Hall of Fame player retire via fax on the eve of training camp. So as much as they repeat the misery, they are a team of first in so many ways. And I'm glad that we added another one to that embarrassing pile today. Double-digit leads 4 times in a row? I mean, even for the Lions, as bad as they've been forever, they've never done that. This is like a special brand of shitty Detroit Lions football. But really, the point of this whole thing with the Lions is that nothing should be surprising anymore. Really nothing. Yeah, they might find new ways to torture you. They might find a creative outlet to play with your emotions. But really, expect the worst. Expect the absolute worst, and you'll be fine. Nothing should be surprising anymore. I'm seeing like the new hot thing, especially this year. I mean, it's been building and building over the past few years, and it's not a Detroit Lions thing. It's like a sports thing. Is everyone's dying to go viral with these crazy rants where they're screaming in their car and they're pulling their hair out. And, like even my friend Chris Castellani, who got his bones doing that initially, has sort of distanced himself from that. Everyone is doing this Detroit Lions in their car rant thing. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make fun of them. There's plenty to say. They are a joke. I get why you're mad if you're still invested, but like the whole rant in a car thing, where you just say, how could they keep doing this to me? Oh, fuck. It's just, what are you doing? Let's add some real commentary. Let's actually talk about what's going on here. Like, take a benzo, smoke a blunt if that's your thing. Like, whatever that you need to do to relax, to not let this team ruin your Sunday, do it. So let's not talk about, well, how do they do this to me again and again and again? Let's talk about exactly why we're here. Let's talk about it. Let's be intelligent about it. You get what you tolerate in life. That's no different than here with the Detroit Lions. You get what you tolerate in life. If you let people take advantage of you, they're going to. That is human nature, partner. You let people walk all over you, they're going to take those steps. They're going to leave the grime on your face. That's where we're at. So the Detroit Lions have been allowed to get away with this forever. You let someone get away with something, whether it's an animal, human being, doesn't matter. They're going to do it. That's human nature. That's animal nature. Welcome to reality. Just tonight, my wife had a little birthday dinner at my in-laws. Love my in-laws. They're great. They have this new puppy, though. Jumps up all over you, just stealing everyone's food, nipping at your toes. They say, oh, come on. No. Naughty, naughty. Dog keeps doing it. You tolerate it, it's going to happen. Here we are. Lions fans have tolerated this stuff forever. And there's nothing that encompasses that more. There's nothing that embodies the Detroit Lions fans' complicity in this than the whole Detroit versus everybody crap. I want it to stop. I think it is ridiculous. I think it was always dumb. I think it becomes dumber and dumber by the day. Stop with the Detroit versus everybody crap. It's not Detroit versus everybody. It's not Detroit versus the referees. It's not Detroit versus the NFL. It is the Detroit Lions versus you. It is the Detroit Lions versus you, the fan. And they are beating you. Year in and year out, they are winning. It's the only winning this organization has ever done. It is Detroit versus you, the fan. And they are undefeated in stepping on your face, taking your money, and laughing at you because they don't care. I promise you they don't care. I sat in this chair across from my friend Justin Rogers, great writer for the Detroit News, covers the Lions, probably the best at it in a town full of good Detroit Lions writers. And he's telling me, oh, no, Sheila Ford-Hamp, she cares. She's in the mud with this team. You got to give her a chance. You don't want to punish her for the sins of the father. I don't believe in that. Well, here we are. We are with Sheila Ford-Hamp now. This is Ford Family Ownership, Volume 3. Just like Volume 1 and 2. It's a real hoot. This is what you get. You have permission from me and permission from anyone who's sane to start having hope again if and when the Fords sell in 100 years. Until then, you have no basis to buy into this stuff. It's not based in anything. In fact, not only is it not based in anything, it's going direct in contrast with mountains and decades of evidence to the contrary. So you want to swim upstream against the history of the Detroit Lions and talk about the referees and the Calvin Johnson completing the process stuff or the hands of the face in Green Bay? Yeah, they're bad calls. The refs aren't the reason this team has won one playoff game in 64 years. That's a hell of a conspiracy on the part of the NFL and the referees. They're doing a great job. They've spanned that conspiracy across 4 generations, at least 3. We're working on 4. That's a hell of a conspiracy. That makes the JFK conspiracy seem like child's play. And let's talk about exactly why we're here for like the 17th time in my relatively short lifetime. You retained a regime in Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia who had interests that were in direct contrast to the best interests of this organization. This team was not on the verge of winning. I know you can have quick turnarounds in the NFL. This team was not on the cusp of big things last year or the year before. They were not knocking on the door and needing 1 or 2 adjustments, 1 or 2 additions, 1 or 2 tweaks, 1 or 2 balls bouncing a different way than it did the previous year from being a Super Bowl contender. Sheila Ford-Hamp sat up there in front of the 4 Detroit beat writers because they didn't open it up to the general media, and that's a whole other story. They sat there in December of last year, and Sheila Ford-Hamp says, look, I know it's the popular thing to do to fire Bob Quinn and fire Matt Patricia and just blow them all out, but I'm not going to listen to that. I'm doing what's best for the organization. That's what she said. No, you're not. No, you're not. The minute you came back and said, we're going to bring back Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn with an edict that was so vague that no one understood exactly what it meant, playoff contention as the bar, but the minute you did that, the minute that decision was made and you sat in front of those 4 reporters and told them that, it was clear that the interests diverged between the 2 parties. The best interest for the Detroit Lions was to tear this thing down, draft Tua with their 3rd overall pick, let him sit for a year, trade Stafford a year from now, and move on with Tua as your starting quarterback going forward at a minuscule cap number. Do what the Seahawks did back in the day with Russell Wilson. Obviously a smaller contract than Tua would have been, but still, you get the cheap quarterback on the rookie deal, and then you make your progress early. They didn't do that. When you have an organization that's not close, but they are being run and coached by 2 guys that have every incentive to get as close as possible right away, you're off the tracks. And that's what they did. That's what they chose to do. This team wasn't close, and they incentivized two guys going for it when they weren't close and they had no business going for it. Patricia and Quinn were in it for themselves, and that's why you see them draft Tua. Or you not draft Tua, you see them draft Okudah. That's why they do that. Because Okudah, in their mind, was going to help them win now. Now, that's beside the fact that Okudah was beaten like a drum today in his debut, beaten like a drum in training camp by all accounts, and was hurt in the first week. Maybe he'll be good, who knows? But the point is, the motivation was in direct contrast with what it should have been. It made no sense what they did. You're making the best choice for the organization. No, you're not. And the funny thing about this whole thing, it's really hilarious to me. This is what you came up with as your best punch? This is the team that we're all in? You went all in with Jack High. They're 0-2, two embarrassing losses with big blown leads against division foes. This is their best shot. I mean, for you hockey fans, the Columbus Blue Jackets, almost 2 years ago now, were hammered when they went all in, trading for all their draft picks. They went all in for 1 year. They were hammered. Say, what are you doing? You guys aren't built for a Stanley Cup run. And they got bounced in the second round, but at least they won a playoff round. They swept the Tampa Bay Lightning, the best regular season team ever. At least they made some noise. Then maybe it wasn't the right decision to go all in, but I mean, at least they had something to show for it. The Lions, this is what Bob Quinn came up with. This is his best punch. The guy's got the guillotine dangling above his head. Hi, Blade. Oh, no. And this is what he came up with? It's absolutely hilarious. It's just, I mean, you can argue against the going all in thing all you want, which is, I certainly would. But I mean, at least if you're going to go all in, like give me like a 9-7 and peter out in the wild card type deal, which I mean, I guess is theoretically still possible. But I'm not going to buy that. Are you buying it? Look at what these guys have done the last 2 years. Jesse James. Not the bank robber from 200 years ago, like the tight end, in case you forgot. Because he still is a player in this league, technically. He's on the roster, Jesse James. 4 years, $25 million. Doesn't play. You thought the outlaw Jesse James was a good thief. He's got nothing on Jesse James, the tight end. I don't think the outlaw in the 1800s ever got away with $25 million for no work, even adjusting for inflation. Jesse James, the football player, is a much better gangster, much better outlaw. 4 years, $25 million, can't play. Last year in the draft, Jelani Tavai in the second round. Everyone's jaw hits the floor. No one knows what the hell is going on. Who is this guy? It's like in the fantasy draft when someone you take like a kicker in the second round. Everyone's like looking like, who the hell is that guy? I got to turn to page 6 to even find the guy's name. Who's Jelani Tavai? Second round, can't play. He can't play. This isn't hindsight. Everyone knew it was stupid at the time. 5 years of Bob Quinn. First round picks, second round picks, running backs, tight ends, running backs, tight ends. What are they doing? All these, this early draft capital this organization has spent at the end of Mayhew's era and the entire Bob Quinn era on tight ends and running backs. 5 years of Bob Quinn, still can't rush the passer. Can't do it. No pressure on the quarterback. Aaron Rodgers was playing Yahtzee in the pocket today. He was rehearsing for his next State Farm commercial in the pocket today all day. No pressure. My friend Andy Isaac had a good point. It's not even that they're not sacking him or hitting him. They're not even getting close. The guy is singing the Macarena in the pocket, completing the entire second verse, and then throwing a dart downfield. Oh, look, there's Jeff Okudah on the ground. Nice pick, third overall. You take a corner third overall for the first time since Sean Springs in 97, he better be good on day one. I'm tired of hearing about how patient everyone has to be. It's a bad organization. They always will be. And that's where it is. And it's not Detroit versus everybody. It's the Detroit Lions versus you. And it's time to wake up. Stop being shocked by this stuff. I think it's hilarious. If you look at the whole thing as like a dark comedy, it's actually kind of wonderful. It's actually kind of great. It's the only way to tolerate it. So I always say, like I've talked about it on this show, there's nothing that drives me more nuts than when people say, oh, if you vote for Donald Trump, unfriend me now, delete me now. Or if you vote for Joe Biden, you can go to hell. We're not friends anymore. I hate that stuff. I don't buy it. I will be friends with anybody. I don't care who you're voting for in the presidential election. Don't care. Don't care. Doesn't affect our friendship one iota. Irrelevant. Irrelevant data. But I'm going to make an exception for this. If you are rooting for the Detroit Lions to go 6-10 and pick like 6th or 7th, like they've done repeatedly in this era, unfriend me. Delete me. Don't talk to me. Because I don't want you in my life. Maybe down the road we can revisit it, but not now. I'm trying to surround myself with semi-sentient, intelligent, rational human beings. If you are doing anything other than rooting for 0-16 and Trevor Lawrence, I don't know what to tell you. I think you're beyond saving. I love you, probably. I don't know what to tell you. It's the only thing that makes sense at this point. And I had a couple people today when I brought this up saying, oh, is Trevor Lawrence going to fix the defense? No. They have myriad issues, and Stafford isn't chief among them, but your quarterback's your CEO. Your CEO has not done shit with his company in the entire time he's been here. It's 12 years. Enough's enough. Go win somewhere else. Stafford's good enough to win a Super Bowl somewhere else. See ya. Thank you. Goodbye. You got to start over, and you're not going to change the fortunes of this team, if you ever are, by improving your pass rush solely or getting a linebacker or getting a shutdown corner at 3rd overall. And that's what I said at the time and why I wanted Tua. Oh, is this cornerback going to change seismically the fortunes of this organization? No. One position can do that on the field, a quarterback. You can also do it with a coach. We know that part of the equation is not there. So, no, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to play safety and intercept the ball too. But that's what you got to root for at this point. That's the only thing that makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense. So I've had 100 questions today. I did a little contest about the shirt I'm wearing now, the Matt Patricia clown t-shirt. For those of you that don't know, Matt Patricia famously wore a clown shirt of Roger Goodell shortly after the Deflategate scandal. He was poking the bear a little bit on Roger Goodell. It was a Barstool Sports shirt. And I figured, well, time for a little taste of your own medicine. So I had this commissioned, this image that you see before you, commissioned. It's beautiful. The wonderful Matt Patricia clown shirt. And, of course, it didn't take but a week for the wonderful T-shirt to be stolen. There is a company out there that is selling them for like $25 a pop. It is my exact image, stolen directly off my Twitter feed. I own the image, and I vow to you right now, I promise, on the souls of my grandchildren, as the Godfather would say, that I will do nothing. I will do nothing to stop them. And I hope you buy those bootleg shirts, even though they're not as nice as mine. I hope you buy them, and I hope you wear them. Wear them in good health. That's what I hope for you. Because I'm not going to make any stink about anybody shaming this organization. That's where it's at. Everyone needs to just relax. No more viral video phishing. Shut it down. This is your team. Until the Fords sell, that's where you're at. So I don't know what to make of it other than this is something I've grown accustomed to. And I hope you guys have a good time continuing to let them bludgeon you to death with this stuff. I think it's hilarious. I have a macabre fascination with the whole thing. So that's it. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate everyone that has been watching this wonderful show. We have some great things coming up this week. I'm not going to announce it just yet. Looks like we have 2 shows coming up this week. Wonderful guests, one of whom has been here before, one of whom has not. We're going to do the business this week, but this Detroit Lions thing, just relax, because it's going to be a heartbreaker for you if you're continuing to be invested in this stuff. Thank you to Roberto, who is running this thing from his couch. Ben Augusta unavailable because I gave him 16 minutes notice and said I wanted to talk about this stuff. So Roberto, thank you from your couch in your boxers, wherever you are. Thank you for listening. Spiro Avenue, we'll see you this week with 2 new episodes. Be safe, and remember, it's not Detroit versus everybody. Knock it off. Thanks.